back for another episode of Gatehouse Insights. And in this episode, I'm finding out about human potential and advanced goal setting, why networking is important for your professional and personal growth, and how to be more comfortable with failures, setbacks, and twists and turns that come with life. This week, I'm speaking to Mariya Radysh, who is a professional speaker, corporate trainer, university professor, and even a stand-up comedian. She is best known by her contacts as the networking star. And don't forget to subscribe to the Gatehouse Legal Recruitment YouTube channel to catch it all. So you're an expert in human potential and advanced goal setting, which you've recently completed a TEDx talk on. Can you share some of your key takeaways from that talk?
The main point was for me to encourage the audience to think bigger. Whatever it is you're thinking, think bigger. At the moment, most people, they either don't have goals at all and they just go with the flow in their life, or they set strictly SMART goals. So a SMART goal setting system is quite good, but only in regards to certain things. So I believe that every one of us should have at least one big, hairy, audacious goal that scares you, that you have no idea how to achieve, that you need other people to help you, that maybe some people even think you're crazy, that this is what you want. And there are several reasons to that. One of them is that if we imagine that there is a box or some sort of boundaries or some sort of limitations, then we kind of imprison ourselves within those boundaries. And it means that we will think and create and operate only with those boundaries that are imaginary. When you set up this big goal, it's going to motivate you to get out of bed every single morning. It will encourage you to be productive, and it will encourage you to think really big and to realize your potential. Because our potential is so enormous, we can't even comprehend it. Whatever we can imagine in our wildest dreams is only maybe 1-2% of what we can actually achieve. And this is why in the beginning of my talk I compare our potential to the universe, that there's so much more than we can think of or imagine. And the universe, same as our potential, keeps growing, and this is what we need to realize. So one of the main reasons why to think big is to set your mind free and actually allow to be more creative and to reach much more than you can even think of. But another reason that I mentioned there was that living forever is actually no longer science fiction. It's just around the corner. Within the next 10 years, we would be able to 3D print any organ that we need. And by 2050, scientists are confident that we'll be able to buy ourselves a whole new body. So basically, yes, living forever, at least for 1,000 years, is becoming a reality. So when to start thinking big if not now? So at the end of my talk, I encourage everyone to look into the night sky and just let it be a reminder that whatever you're thinking, think bigger.
How does an individual shift that mindset from thinking small to thinking bigger? Is there anything they should do to help them think bigger?
So I'm sure that the audience knows about the difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. So I think it's our responsibility through our life to shift from fixed mindset to the growth mindset and understand that personal development is a lifelong journey. It's not something you can get done and dusted with. It's actually a journey you embark on and you continue through all of your life. So setting big goals really helps because it allows you to think outside of normal limitations, outside of usual boundaries. So I think setting big goals is the first step that you could take in that direction.
Yeah. Mm. And I know you've done some research on health, on what makes us healthy and happy. Can you give us 2 points on what you've found so far?
Yeah. Vast topics. Absolutely love researching on that. I've always been very interested in physiology and psychology behind our behavior and behind our success and our happiness. And when it comes to happiness, I came to realize that being happy is actually a choice. Most of my life I thought that, once I get this somewhere, I'll be happy. Once I get my next uni degree, I'll be happy. Once I buy a house, I'll be happy. Once I get that job, I'll be happy. once I meet a right person to build a relationship with, I'll be happy. But then I learned that actually happiness is not something you find, it's something you create within yourself. So happiness is a choice, and it is something you decide whether you want to create or not, or whether you want to stay miserable. And there are two main things that help you being happy. First one is enjoying moments and experiences on a daily basis. So instead of waiting for when you buy that dream home or when you get that dream job, actually enjoy on a daily basis little things, like if you're having a cup of coffee in the morning, not to rush and actually enjoy the smell of it and taste of it and the warmth of it. Or if you're driving and you're going through a streak of green lights, just appreciate it, Or if in the evening you have time to read a book and it starts raining and it gives you that very warm feeling. So everyone has quite a lot of things, little things that actually make them happy. And I encourage people to make a list, to write down at least 100 things, those little things that make them happy. And at least once a day experience that, appreciate that. And the other thing, there's a really good TEDx talk about longest research on happiness. And what they found was that our happiness depends greatly on the depth of our relationships, on the quality of our connections with other people. So it's another thing that you had to look into. What kind of people are surrounding you? Are these quality connections, or is it just quantity of acquaintances? And be selective. See who encourages you, who inspires you, who energizes you, and get rid of people who have negative impact on you. One of probably my favorite quote about happiness is actually from Johnny Cash. When he was asked about what was paradise to him, he said, "This morning with her having coffee." And in just those 6 words, he conveyed that happiness is about those little moments, and it's also about being with the right people as well. The interesting thing is that our brain doesn't really distinguish between little things and big things, whatever we're talking about. So if you wait for those big events to happen and then to feel happy, then you'll be happy just once in a while and only for a short period of time. If you actually make it a habit to appreciate experiences and moments on a daily basis, then you will feel happy and at peace continuously. With health. Health, it's so important. I used to think that time was the most precious commodity, but then I came to realize that actually energy is the most precious commodity that we have. Because it doesn't matter what a grand vision you have and how creative you are and how hardworking you are. If you don't have energy, how far are you going to get? I usually say, think of Lamborghini. Such a sophisticated car. It can go so fast and so far, and yet if you don't fill it up, if you don't service it, if you don't actually keep it in the right condition, how far is it going to go? How much are you going to squeeze out of it? So health is incredibly important, and the 2 main things that a person should look into if they want to improve their health, I believe, is sleep, so to improve the quality of their sleep, and also to eat slower. So with the quality of sleep, there are a lot of articles and a lot of people talking about how many hours do we need to sleep. And it varies. It's actually a very interesting topic, and it varies because Napoleon slept 4 hours and Einstein slept 12. I have a friend who sleeps once in 2 days, only for 6 hours, and that's it. That's what works for him. When it comes to actually sleeping for 4 hours, only 1 or 2% of the population can recharge within that period of time. Most of us on average need between 8 to 10 hours. But the quality of sleep is even more important. So once again, so many articles about morning routines when you're priming yourself for the day to come to be more productive, but barely anyone is talking about evening routines. And evening routines are as important because you're preparing yourself to sleep. Like, we don't wake up and we don't fall asleep, like this. Our body needs to prepare us to either be alert or to doze off. So at least for an hour before going to bed, don't use any electronic devices. Try to read a book or go for a walk. And 2 hours before going to sleep, finish your dinner. So don't eat later than that. So there are a lot of things that you can do to prepare yourself and get better sleep within actually less time. And I think everyone agrees with me that sleep is the most important thing for our health. But the second most important thing is nutrition. And I was very interested to find out that actually we're only 10% human and 90% we're microbiome. So we have a lot of bacteria, viruses, fungi, even single cell organisms living in our body or on our body. And in particular, the most important community is our gut bacteria. So one of the mistakes I was doing most of my life is that I was eating very quickly and maybe only once a day, and I always was annoyed that I actually had to do it. I saw it as something that I had to do, not that I wanted to do. The thing is that our gut bacteria is very sensitive and reacts to our state of our mind. So if we are stressing out about something or eating quickly something, our gut bacteria thinks that that food is not good for us, that we're actually stressing out about the food. And as a result, it gets less nutrition, maybe even more calories out of it. But if you're eating mindfully, if you actually focus on what you're eating and you enjoy it, then your gut bacteria, no matter how bad that food is, even if it's like a McDonald's burger, but you're on a beach, surrounded by your friends and you have good laughs and you're relaxed, your gut bacteria will extract all the nutrition it can out of it and will make it as beneficial as possible for you. So this is why actually one of the reasons why a lot of people pray before having a meal, because they slow themselves down and they express gratitude and they become mindful about enjoying that meal. So yeah, better sleep and eating slower are the first two things that someone should look into when they're trying to improve their health.
With better sleep and how many hours people should get a night, should you be in tune with who you are and your body and what works for you as opposed to what works for someone else?
It's of course we'll have different rhythms, and for example, I'm more of a night person, but because most people are morning people, it's hard to build a business or build a career just following your own rhythm. It is something that you can change, and I think most important is to go to bed earlier and get up at the same time. So if you get up at the same time, it actually doesn't even matter if you go to bed at the same time. It will help you to be more productive and wake up quicker. So we are creatures of habits. And the thing is, the good thing and bad thing that we are, the good thing is that habits can be changed. If you want to, if you put your mind into it, if you're committed to it, you can definitely change your habits. So by creating a new habit, you replace an old habit. So if you create a habit, for example, getting up at 6 a.m. every morning and you stick to it for a little bit, this is going to become your new habit and you will feel comfortable and energized.
I wanted to shift us into networking. Many people find networking difficult or a waste of time. But why is it so important from both a professional and a personal point of view to network?
When they interview self-made millionaires and self-made public figures, they always indicate that networking was one of the main key secrets to their success. And there are a lot of reasons to that, but one of them is that you really grow as a person when you meet new people and you learn about their experiences and you brainstorm with them and you collaborate with them. So it's crucial. It's very crucial to growing your business and to growing yourself professionally. In particular, in regards to the latter, in Melbourne, about 70 to 80% of jobs are never advertised. You can learn about those positions and get an interview only if someone recommends you, only if someone tells you. So if you don't network, you miss out on all those opportunities. There's a really good book about that, Never Eat Alone. I would highly recommend to read it. And as for the wasting time, I think the main mistake people make when they network is that they don't have clarity about what they want. About everything in life, whatever it is you want. whether you want to grow your business, or if you want to grow personally, or if you want to be happier or wealthier, or if you want to do digital marketing, or if you want to use networking as a marketing tool, whatever that is, gaining clarity is the first step. So it's very, very important to have a clear, detailed image. What is it you're going after? You know, you can't hit a target that you can't see, and scattered attention brings scattered results. So once you explain to yourself and to your brain and to your mind and to the universe, what is it exactly you want, they start working with you. I often say that the universe doesn't work for you or against you, it works with you. So the first step is to decide, okay, I want to network. What is it I want? Do I want a client? Okay, what particular client do I want? What type of client that is? And have a very detailed image of that client. Who is it you want to work with? Or do you want to meet referral partners or collaborators? Or for me in particular, now networking became more about brainstorming. So I choose to go to those events where I can have brainstorming conversations. So that's my goal at the moment. So whatever it is you want to do in this life or wherever you want to network, clarity is the first step.
So it doesn't just have to be the typical networking event where people just mingle and roam around the room.
Well, sometimes people go to networking events to socialize and have a drink, and they have plenty of networking events like that. So once you decide what you want to achieve, what is it you want to get there, it becomes easier to make a choice, because in Melbourne there's so much going on. There's so many networking events. I get invited all the time to a few things on the same night, and so it's bad and good. Bad because it's more difficult to choose, but good is because you can actually choose the right events to go to and find what is it you want. Once you decide what is it you want.
For people that lack confidence in speaking to others, or even to going to a networking event, how do they push through that confidence and build that up?
I think the best way to do is actually shift your attitude from selling to serving. Because most people, when they network, they think that they need to run around the room, shove their business cards, do all the talking, and this is what they see as networking. But networking is more about making connections and collaboration, and also seeing what value you can give to that other person or that other business. So once you shift from selling to serving, you also understand that it's more about listening than speaking. So when you actually meet someone, it's better to spend 80% of your time listening to that person, because you will learn what their wants and needs are, and then you'll be able to offer your value, how you can help them. If you're doing all the talking, you have no idea what is it they want. What is it an issue that they're struggling with? You know, what is it the problem that they're faced with? So it's important to listen and to be of value. But there's a lot of networking is a form of marketing, selling, and branding. So I actually created a program which consists of 21 topics about how to turn networking into a productive marketing, selling, and branding tool. So this is just one of the points. But I think starting with switching from selling to serving is the best thing you can do.
Now, you mentioned before that there was like a formula to networking. For those that are feeling a little bit scared to network, or they don't know how to network, what's the formula they should follow for those that want it?
So currently, whether you're looking for a job, whether you're building a business, it's not about you telling how great you are. It's not about telling how many degrees you have, or what a great company that is that you built or are working for. It's about showing, so the first step is to show that you understand what the problem is, either in the industry or for that particular person or for that particular company. So what is the problem? What is the pain point? What is the issue? That you're aware of it. Then you educate how that can be resolved. And only then you offer yourself as the solution, whether you're applying for a job or whether you're hunting for a client. So that's the formula. Highlight the pain point, educate, and then explain why this person or that company should go ahead with you.
Yeah. Now, if someone with networking, how long after should you, I suppose, follow up that person, and what should someone do to build deeper relationships with people they've met?
In regards to building a relationship, I think it's individual because we're all very different, which is amazing, which is wonderful. And following up is key to proper networking. If you don't follow up, no matter how great the networking event was, no matter how amazing people were there, if you don't follow up with them, if you don't build a relationship with them, it's not going to work. Nothing's going to happen. So it's better to follow up within 2 days, at most maybe 2 weeks. And following up, there's also very different forms of following up. And nowadays, you have to have up to 21 touch point with someone for them to actually to do business with you, usually, especially in Melbourne, where people make decisions very slowly.
I thought it was 7, so it's 21.
Now it's 21. It was 6, then it turned into 13. Now it's 21. Up to 21 touch point.
Wow.
But a touch point is not necessarily a phone call or an email. It could be something you're posting online and that person seeing your post and liking it or commenting it or just seeing it. Or it could be you, for example, sending a link to an article that you thought would be interesting for that person. So if you say, you know, we talked about this and I came across that article and I thought this could be of interest to you. It could be inviting that person to a networking event or some other event. Or even when you go on leave, when you use your emails and you set up auto reply, people usually do it when they go on leave. But you can do it even through the rest of the year as well. So basically saying that, okay, today, for example, I'm running a workshop on such and such topic. So my apologies, I won't be able to get back to you via email. If something urgent, please call my phone number. If that's not urgent, I'll get back to you, let's say on Thursday. So when a person gets that auto reply, first of all, they see that they're not being ignored, that you actually are busy, it's not about them. And also they see what you're up to. So it also becomes another touch point. When you say, I'm running a workshop on such and such topic, and the person learns what is it else you're doing. So it also can be a very good touch point as well.
Mm-hmm. Now going back to confidence, you mentioned that it's a skill that can be developed. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I'll talk about it very briefly. I have an article on my LinkedIn profile if anyone is interested to have a read. Confidence is something that we're born with, so it's actually in our DNA. But with time, either it increases or decreases. It mostly depends how we're raised. So in particular, on average, women are usually less confident than men because expectations of the society are different and we're brought up very differently. But because it's a skill, it means it can be developed. And this is where confidence needs to be looked at from 2 points of view. So there's situational confidence and there is core confidence. So situational confidence in something like public speaking or making sales over the phone, for example, or writing an article, playing a violin. It's anything that you can do through repetition and practice. But core confidence is much more important. And I would compare core confidence to courage. Because courage is something that you do something even when you're scared of it. And this is what you want to turn into a habit. That when you want something and it frightens you, you still go ahead and you get it done. So it's confidence in yourself and believing in who you are. It's understanding that if you want to achieve something, even if you don't know how, you'll make it happen. You'll learn. You'll find the right people. So not seeing the whole journey to achieving it is not important. No, it's irrelevant. The main thing is that you know what you want, and even if you don't know how to get there, you will. It's not whether you can do something, it's whether you will do something. So when you develop core confidence and see it as being courageous, then it will help you through all areas of your life.
If we're born with confidence, at what point does it get, I suppose, beaten or smashed out of us?
Yeah, that's very good. That's a very good way to phrase it. It all depends on a person because we all have very different experiences. You know, with our parents and relatives and friends and the society, depends where we were born, what part of the world, what books we were reading, what movies we were watching. So whatever it is, like they say, we are environment. Yes, we are. Because whatever we see, whatever we come across, it all affects us, it all shapes us. So that's why one of the reasons is why I stopped watching news. And I read different books from what I used to read, and also be more selective who I have in my inner circle as well. So it's all very, very individual. But usually, so within the first 7 to 8 years, we absorb everything like a sponge. So basically, we get almost hypnotized by what's happening around us and what the expectations of us are. But then at a certain point, we come to a realization that, whatever person we are, we don't have to stay that way. And if we want to grow, we can absolutely do that. All we have to do is just become committed to it. Not interested, but committed. Because when you're interested, you only do what you feel like and only when it's convenient. When you're committed, you'll get things done. Whatever needs to be done, you'll get them done. So I think it's just a decision that you need to make. Do you want to grow or not? And then everything is in your hands.
So it does get beaten out of us. We've just got to bring it back.
It does. I was trying to sway away from it because I didn't want to bring our audience down. Yes, in particular with women, like we are expected to be more demure and softer and less driven. And when a boy speaks up, it's encouraged. When a girl speaks up, it's usually judged. Let's put it mildly. So of course, we're trying to blend into the society and to make our parents in particular happy. So if certain expectations are imposed to us, then for quite a long time through our life, we're doing our best to meet those expectations, and we change into a person who we think will be accepted and who we think will be loved, instead of deciding what is it I want, So it does get reduced, decreased, beaten out.
Nice way of putting it. I want to talk a little bit more about how someone becomes more comfortable with failures, twists and turns that come up with life.
First thing to understand is that if everything went according to plan in our life, we probably would have died as species a long time ago, because it's the challenges that makes us stronger and smarter and help us to evolve. And also, even if we survived as species, I think life would be incredibly boring. One of the reasons is because only by having bad moments you can truly appreciate good moments in your life. So whenever there is some sort of stumbling stone, wherever some sort of issue arises, when the life throws a curveball at you, I think it's important to understand that actually, thank you. Because of that, I'm going to become a better version of myself. I'm going to be stronger and smarter once I get through this. So actually expressing gratitude would be one of the things that people should be doing. And also realizing that, once again, happiness is a choice. Going back to that it's only about 10% what happens to us, and it's 9% how we react to it. And I don't remember who said that. If you're watching a bad movie, change the channel. I really like that quote, and my apologies, I couldn't remember who said that. That you've got the remote control, When something happens, it's all about your perception. It's about your reaction and attitude towards it. So instead of allowing yourself to be, boiling in that negative thinking, just take a step back and think, okay, this is not useful to me. What would be useful thinking? And turn to that. Because our brain is designed to be negative by nature, to protect us. That's just the way it is. So just naturally, we're prone to negative thinking and to repetitive thoughts. But if we create that habit of switching from negative thinking to useful thinking, I don't like the word positive. I like the word useful. So when we create that habit, and it's also a habit, negative thinking is a habit, useful thinking is a habit. So when we create that habit of useful thinking, then we see life very differently.
Mariya, you're incredible.
Thank you.
And that's it. Another episode of Gatehouse Insights draws to an end. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this video with your friends. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the Gatehouse Legal Recruitment YouTube channel where you can see more.